And I see a queen right off the bat. She's right there. Welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. So it is, it's been 2 days later since I put these queen cells into the incubator, and we have one of them emerged on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and get it, get this queen put into a cage and put some candy over the entrance on that. And I think I'll probably go out there. It's been raining all day, so we're up to 13 inches now, plus a little more than that, I think. Of rain since about a 7-8 day time period. So it's rained 3 inches today alone. So it's going to be so wet down there, but I do need to, I want to get this queen right into a hive right away. So let's open this up and I'll show you. Yeah, so just like I had planned it, that queen cell kept her from getting out of there. And this one here, now we could maybe open that, pull it out and see if there's signs that it's about to emerge. We could just go ahead and help it out. It doesn't look, yeah, I don't see like any ridges like where she's starting to cut it open. Let's go ahead and get this one out and caged up. I'm just going to go ahead and use one of the used cages from before. Just kind of put her head into the hole and let her walk in that way. There she goes. Again, this is powdered sugar and Cairo mix. And you just kind of mix it together till it forms kind of a putty. You can see where she came out right there. So I'm curious to see like the water that's in here and honey. So I still see the honey, but the water's mostly gone. I don't see any water there left at all. So I'll go ahead and put a drop of honey and water on this cage. There's water, drop of water right there. And a little bit of honey. So my rags here are all dried out. So I'm going to go ahead and wet them down. Just for keep the humidity up for this next queen to hatch out. Put this back on here. Okay, we got our queen here, so I'm going to go get on my rubber boots and get out there to the hives. And I know I've got a list of all my queenless hives I need to go check, and then we'll get her put into one of those. Hopefully the water's not higher than my boots. Hey folks, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. It is Wednesday, April 30th, last day of April. So April has just flown by, and most of April it's been raining. And so in April, got all of the queens grafted and all of the ones that emerged into the hives. A few of them didn't emerge. And yesterday I was out here and I cut a couple of queen cells out of hive 99 and harvested them. Actually, it's 2 days ago, so that would have been Monday. And one of those queens emerged, and I probably showed that video already. So here she is right here, and I want to go ahead and get her into a hive. So one thing I did yesterday while it was raining, it's been raining like crazy this last probably span of 7 to 8 days. I've got over 7 inches of rain registering so far. So yesterday, one thing I did is I went through my notebook and made notes on all of the hives that are requeening, and to include the nukes that I made with the queen cells and the virgin queens. So here's the one with the list of nukes right here. So these are all the nukes, the 9 nukes, and then these here are just hives that they may be a nuke that I'm requeening, but it's not in that little nuke row. It's in my normal production hive row to get my losses back up and get me closer to 40 hives. And there's a bunch. So I counted, there's over 20 hives that are requeening, and just to get back to normal. So, and that's a lot. And most of them start the first and second week of May is when I need to really be checking to see if it's queen right, and some of them the queen will be laying. But for today, the only one that should have a laying queen in April is a hive 24B, and it's a B because it's an apame. So B is the right hand side if you're looking at it from the entrance. And I did check that hive once before and it looked queenless. So I'm going to get in 24B, check it out, and see if it's still queenless, and if so, we'll put this little queen in there. And if not, the rest of these are like, here's one May 2nd, but it had swarm cells, you know, so I don't know what I'll do if that's not the one. I guess I could pull another split. I've got 1 nuke box left, 2 if you count the cardboard ones, but I don't like putting those out here. So let's get into that 24B. The queen should have been laying by April 25th, and we'll go see and take a look, and we'll go from there on based on what we see. Let's get in there. Yeah, look at the water standing down here. So that'll dry up eventually, but when it's raining hard, the water flows under these hives, and that's why they're up fairly high. So here's a hive 24. So we're wanting into the right side. The left side is a split with a let's see, a supersedure cell from the same hive, but it came out when I was doing it, setting it up as a starter, and so those cells are a little older than the ones that just hatched out. So that's probably got a virgin queen in there. Hopefully it does. And I just saw some pollen go in there a minute ago. And I also saw some go in the one on the right. So that's a good sign. If they're bringing in pollen, there's probably a queen in there. That's not a surefire sign, but if there's a laying queen, they need pollen to feed the larvae. So let's get in here. Yeah, look at the water here. So if we find queen in here, that's a good problem, I guess. But if it's queenless still, then we can put this queen in. So I had been feeding this a little bit, and I think what I found on this, it was nectar bound. So I stopped feeding them. Actually took a frame out. I don't remember which, I think it might have been this side here. So all the nectar's gone from the feeder, both sides. I'm not going to open this side right now. At least that's not my plan. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice population of bees. So the worker bees' capped brood is opened up. boost that population up. This is looking promising as far as a might be queen, right? I was thinking about these apimays, and I like this double newt concept, but 3 frames is kind of tight. And I was thinking, well, what if I just got their regular 10 frame hive and did a double 5s? That would probably work. So here we've got liquid nectar and pollen ring at the top. So this hive does not need right now any food supplement. I hate to put this on the other side, but there's no room over here, and if it falls it's going to go for a swim. So this was a split with a virgin queen that I got from another hive, and I see a queen right off the bat. She's right there. And I see some eggs in cells. So let's leave them alone. I'd like to mark her, but she's young and still very skittish and jumpy and running around, so it's not a good time to mark a queen. Other than she's there and I see her. So now what are we gonna do? She looked, yeah, so there's eggs, and I think she's mated. So yeah, I'd inspected this before and didn't find her. So it's hard for queens to get out and mate when it rains, you know, every day. So I'm not gonna feed them. Get this going. So I bet you this other side is good too. It looks good. From the entrance, I saw pollen going in there. And it was a supersedure cell from 99, about a week earlier than this one. So I looked at my notes and I found that where this queen came from is hive 28. And so April 11th, I put that queen in here, and I left swarm cells over in 28. So let's go check 28 real quick and see what it looks like. And if it's queenless, then that'll be plan B. Okay, here's 28 right here on the end. See if we see any pollen going in there. So the sun came out a couple hours ago, and we probably got about an hour and a half of sunlight left. I think I just saw pollen go, yeah, there it went. I was seeing pollen going in here. So I've got some new frames in here. So I culled out, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 old brood frames out of here that were 2020 or older. So probably not going to find a queen up here, but they may be up there next to this one frame that I pulled up top. This is a honey frame here. Nice and heavy. So this time of day, after the rain, it's a prime time for swarms. It's a little late in the day, but when they've been cooped up like this and then the sun comes out, if there's queens in there wanting to swarm, chances are they're going to do it. So these are all brand new, being drawn, heavily waxed. So this is a food frame. Got honey, uncapped honey right here. So they're doing fine after all that rain and no time to forage. They've got food. So this was a brood frame that I pulled up to get them to start working on the top. And they backfilled it in. I marked the cells on this. So right there's a blue mark, right there's a blue mark. You can see the corresponding cells. Right there is where that queen came from, and on the other side, looks like that one never opened right there. Right here. Looks like there's a cup right here. And we've got a larva right here in this cup, which is odd. Tells me they're superseding, or that's an emergency queen. But I don't know where they got an egg to make that from. It had to have been from the old queen. I'm gonna leave it there for now. But that's kind of a sign they're queenless, if that's an emergency cell. So these are Pierco frames from Saracell. I got those from Thomas in New Zealand. Thank you, Thomas. Saw him at the Bee Expo. I'm supposed to be looking for a queen. I need to get my queen goggles on and start thinking about queen and quit looking at what's quit looking at the food frames and all that. Again, this is all liquid nectar that they pulled in here. So this is forage from this year, early spring. Here's a little bit of pollen, bee bread. It's pollen mixed with nectar. It's kind of an odd location. That probably happened when I'd rearranged this hive, putting those new frames in there, because normally you'll see that closer to the brood. Again, a food frame that's kind of hodgepodged in there. It's kind of out of order. You want your fullest ones on the outside. All right, let's get to the bottom. Let's get to the bottom of this thing. So from using our little queen perspective, it's looking promising for her. With that, let's see, where was that? This frame right here had that supersedure cell. Or actually, it's an emergency cell, because they're queenless all of a sudden. If it's a supersedure cell, it's from a failing queen. I don't know where they got an egg from to make that larva. That's odd. Because I did this on the 18th, that means that old queen had to have been still here hanging around. And they did not swarm. They didn't swarm because I took it down and really took the population down in this hive. And if I had found the queen, I wouldn't have left those cells there. So this is again just a honey frame. So I went and looked at my notes. I take it back. It wasn't the 18th. It was April 11th. I did this split, moved that virgin queen I found down to the hive I just inspected, that 3-frame split. And she's laying now. And the cells you saw from this top box, I left, and some have emerged. And since the 11th, we have a supersedure cell, or I keep saying that, a emergency queen cell. Either way, it's a queen cell. It don't matter what you call it. It's doing the same thing basically. Okay, this is a food frame, fresh nectar. So I really need to pay close attention for a queen now. Again, another food frame. I should find a frame that they're preparing for a queen to start laying. See, they're not preparing this for a laying queen. It's full of nectar. They're filling it up. No queen. Sorry about that. Sometimes I forget to adjust my camera when I move something around. So this is looking like a queen frame here. It's empty, polished. And then here we're seeing our pollen. So they're going to be wanting to put brood right next to this on the opposite side on the next frame because of this pollen right here and nectar. So this is not a laying frame. It's got old bee bread right here and old capped honey. Here's a bee with pollen on it right here. This here looks like a spot where a queen might start laying. So here's an emerging bee. So this is the last of the brood coming out right here. Last of the capped cells. So once all those capped cells are merged, there's no brood left in here. And after a few days, I don't recall exactly how many, but you're in danger of your worker bees starting to lay. Laying workers, and that's hard to stop. You don't want that to happen. So we're still good on this one so far. So I see another queen cup right here. And looks like two emerged queens came from right here. And another one down here. So those are cells that I did not see before. So this may have been where my little virgin queen swarm came from. If they've got too many queens in there, they'll throw off a little swarm. Here's more cells on this side. There. They're not capped. So they had that original queen. I missed her before. That's what's happened. They did not requeen, and she hung around, and there was enough eggs left. You know, I should just leave this and let them do their thing and use that queen somewhere else, because they're going to requeen themselves. Not seeing a queen still. Here's some more brood. Last of the emerging brood. So the queens that were in here, well, one I captured in a swarm, but they must not have survived mating flights. There's another queen cell there. Well, if there's a queen in here, that's the frame right there. So a lot of empty cells, some emerging brood. Got pollen on it, got some honey on it. This is bee bread. So by end of May, if this is successful, they will make them a new queen. And all we got's food frames here on the right. I'm not going to go any farther. I'm curious if I put that queen on this, how they'll react to it. So they're acting friendly towards it, checking her out. So I think we could release her and she'd be fine. But do we have a good resource in here of all those emergency queen cells? So I'm going to go ahead and let them requeen. I'm going to look at my notes and see if there's any other hives I might go check out. And if not, I'll just pull a split with a couple of brood frames and release her into that. Okay, so this is hive 2, and I went through it the same day, April 11th, found swarm cells. I also found the queen, and I moved the queen to a nuke right next door here, and I expanded that nuke over the weekend from that 5 frame to a 10 frame. So let's get into here, and it's the same situation as the hive we just looked at, except I did find the queen and pulled her out. It was a pretty strong hive, so I put 2 supers on it, which that was probably a little optimistic, knowing what we know now. Seeing some fresh comb up here. It's just a fat one. There's a little bit of nectar in there, but not much. Nothing to brag about. So see my blue dots here and here, notating queen cells. So there's a little bit of capped brood left on this on the outside frame, which is odd. And I see a bee emerging right there, so this is good viable brood. It's just weird it's on that outside frame. And the blue marks right there. Right here's where a cell was. So you can see, I don't know if it emerged or whatever, but it's empty now. You can tell that it's been taken care of. And my lens is fogging up. It's so humid and I'm starting to sweat and there's no airflow down here. First time it's done that to me. This looks like a brood frame that has emerged right there. A little bit of brood left right here. I'll tell you what, we need to get her in a hive quick because she's looking a little lethargic. So I'm just going to set her there and see how they treat her. Here's an open queen cell right here and right here. So these happened, these are ones that I missed before. They don't look like they're being aggressive towards her. Here's another one. Up there, opened up. Man, with as many cells that were in here, surely they were successful. There's one here. I think this one was damaged though during the inspection. This is a pure food frame here. Almost all liquid. A little bit of cat brood around the edge. Looks like we had a cell there. Maybe one there. So they made more swarm cells after my inspection, and I thought I'd left like 3. Or they're ones that I just didn't see them being developed. No queen spotted in the top. Okay. Before I go in the bottom, I want to go over to one of my nukes, the one that I released that queen that was not doing real well and was kind of sickly, and see if she's in there and see what she looks like. And if she's not there, I'm going to put this queen in there. And if I see her and she looks okay, I'll come back here and I'll go through the bottom of this. So my camera was off. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if I didn't push record or not, but I went through this hive, found no queen, but I found 3 queen cells. So I've decided to just leave it, go back to hive 2, and go through the bottom of it. A little bit of the last of the opening brood right there. A lot of drones on that frame. On the outside. No queens. And I'm running out of daylight. Pull a split right now. I'll be doing it in the dark. Man, what a crazy turn of events that was. Trying to find a place to put her. Nothing ever really worked out. So yeah, this doesn't need 2 supers, so I need to move one of these somewhere onto another hive. So my honey production is going to be way down this year because of this rain, and also because I've added a lot of these coal frames. So they're having to draw out a whole deep before they get started, or part of a deep before they get started on the first honey super. So that's set them back. I pulled at least 1 split out of most of my hives to do this grafting thing, so that set them back a little bit too. So, but May is the big flow month, so hopefully all this rain, it's going to make a good flow. But don't know if my alfalfa field's gone down there, and I don't know if they were making it that far or not, but we're going to find out. So that's going to be it for this video. It's kind of monotonous, and I ran out of light. I think if I had more time, I would have went ahead and pulled a split and got her into that, and released her in the capsule there with a new set of bees that are queenless. So, but I think this hive here is queenless. So check on this tomorrow and see if she's released, and we'll just go from there. Worst case, I could bring that queen over there from a number 3 back into her original hive and take care of this one. So that's going to be it. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe on your way out, and I'll catch you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.